So, take 12 today. What are we meant to talk about here? Speaking from experience, everyone's experience of depression is different. I just want to cover myself when I speak about this because it's a very sensitive subject. So, when asked, have I suffered with depression, I'm always going to give a very honest answer, and I'm always going to be true to myself and say that I go through stages of feeling depressed, but I also believe that depression is your system, if you like, asking for deep rest. If you think of your body's natural state when you're depressed, it's listless, it's low, it's tired, it's, bored even maybe for me sometimes. Just no motivation. You want to do the things that you used to love doing, but you just don't. You just have no desire, no spark to do the things that you once enjoyed. Bored isn't right. It's not boredom. It's dissatisfaction. And so if you allow yourself the space and the time to rest fully and deeply, and give yourself the space to heal and nourish yourself in ways that are unique to you, then I believe you can bring yourself out of bouts of depression. And I feel that these periods of rest are essential for our growth. Like a muscle when you work it out in the gym and then you rest. They say that that's where the growth is, don't they, for a muscle? We need these periods of non-action. We need this downtime, and maybe there's more depression because there's so much more action all the time and we're always trying to push through and we don't naturally give ourselves the time to rest. Speaking for myself, I've always felt really guilty for resting, and maybe if we just give ourselves a little bit more time to rest and more nourishment, then maybe depression wouldn't creep up on us and demand it from us. So what does depression look like for you? And I always think with any ailment of the body, mind, spirit, it's really good to look at the root cause and kind of treat the root cause rather than the symptoms, really, because that's what's going to create lasting change, isn't it? And so what is the root cause of feeling depressed? If you are a sufferer of depression, what is it? Is it a grief, a loss, that the feeling of grief just hung around so long that it kind of just transpired into a depressed state? Is it, this is a thing for me, has been a thing for me, hear me out, is it habit? Like you go through a period of depression, right? And then you actually could feel lifted or bring yourself out, that you're at that point where you could change your state, change the state of your body. There's a turning point somewhere if you're conscious enough to notice it. But the depression has become a habit. And within that habit, it can become the comfort zone, almost safety. You know where you're at. to rise out of depression can actually be intimidating for yourself if you've spent long enough in depression that it means that your world is closed in on you, you see. And it takes a level of consciousness to notice. Of course, I'm speaking from experience, guys. I'm not saying, speaking from experience. But there can be a point where you are able to open the door on a glimmer of light. You have a glimmer. One day you have a glimmer of hope, a glimmer of light, or a day or an hour or half an hour where you just feel slightly elevated. You just feel slightly better. You just feel slightly lighter. You just feel slightly less awful, right? And in that time, you have an opportunity, and this is what I have done in the past, you have an opportunity to take that time that you feel a little bit, tiny bit okay, and expand on it. And that might be, for example, for me it used to be reading a self-help book, and there's something in that self-help book, there's something in there that hits something in you, that speaks to you, that you never forget. Like one sentence, could be one sentence, like the deep rest thing. Everything has a purpose, you know? All these feelings, all these emotions, all these states of being, they have a purpose, there's a reason for them, and there's a way to help ourselves. And so many books, so many sentences, so many opportunities. There's been so many books that have just helped me to regroup or just find that little spark of something that's helped me carry on. Diamonds are formed under pressure. Diamonds are formed under pressure. This has been one of the things that's helped me over the years. Yeah, I'm under pressure, but I'm going to be the best of myself by the end of this, you know, or bring it on, from the book Mind Calm, bring it on. Depression, bring it on. When you say bring it on to something you're nervous about or something that you don't want, in a sense, it loses its power over you. So I used to say it with wedding photography. Wedding photography, bring it on. Messing it up, bring it on. Like, there's so many things that we can do to reprogram the mind, whether we are struggling with depression, anxiety, trauma response, whatever it is, there's a way to help ourselves through reprogramming the mind. And divorce is just another thing on the pile for me to reprogram my mind about. I remember once John Bigglestone saying to me, "Why didn't you call me? Why didn't you pick up the phone if you were feeling that bad?" I was going through this depression at the time, and I remember my friend saying, "It's sunny." That doesn't make sense, because she always she associated sunny weather with feeling really happy and joyful, and it was like unusual for her to, you know, for me to be depressed in the summer, right? It's really interesting, isn't it? But yeah, so John, he was upset with me for not ringing him and reaching out for me to reach out to him, for him to help me through this depression, right? But if you can relate to depression and how you do feel so isolated with it, in many ways, it's the hardest thing to reach out. It's really the hardest thing. And very often reaching out is actually the thing, doing something with somebody else is the thing that helps you to have a better day. But to actually do that, to actually pick up the phone and phone somebody, or just find a reason to phone somebody or do something with somebody, it can just feel near on impossible, because you've lost all the motivation to do anything. That's the point. It's like, that's the rest that you need. But the problem with having rest and being in the cocoon and hermiting, if you like, in depression, is that it gives your mind time to ruminate and overthink and send yourself into a worse downward spiral. So one of my tactics now for recognizing when I am starting to feel low is to give myself permission to rest, but with absolute presence, right? So rather than getting to the point where I feel mentally really low, I try and rest before that hits too bad. Does this make sense? Or before my mind is spiraling to a point where it's out of control. This is why I meditate a lot, to try and still the mind, connect to the now, be present in the now, and really watch the negative thoughts and really just be the observer of them, and know that they're not true, they are just thoughts, and we can reprogram our minds, we can focus on something more positive. And it's not about being delusional, it's about getting through and lifting your energy out of a depressive state. Because if you look at the energetic, sorry, there was a fly. If you look at the energetic scale of all the emotions, and like, so grief and fear are at the bottom, and then it goes up and up in your energy field. Then there's neutrality, and then there's peace and harmony, and right at the top is love and gratitude, right? So this is another beautiful tool that I've used to help myself out of a state of depression, lack mindset, grief, sadness, all of the things, right? So I just focus on things to be grateful for. I just focus on blessings every single day. Like, I'll write them down every single morning when I wake up. If you watch your thoughts the first thing in the morning when you wake up, what are you thinking? What are you focusing on? What are you absorbing? Are you watching the news? Is it negative? Or are you waking up and focusing on everything there is to be grateful for? One of the happiest people I know, my friend Carol, is the most grateful person I know. She is so grateful for her life and for everything in her life and everybody in her life. And she's the happiest person I know, honestly. She's so grateful for the tiniest things. And if we can build on an attitude of gratitude every single day, then you can't not feel lifted and better and less depressed. You can't. And what about love, hey? And even love, like, even when there hasn't been anybody romantically in my life, I've made myself focus on the love within, the love for family, the love of life itself, the love of my creative pursuits, love in general, just even energetically feeling my heart space and focusing on the holiday feeling and opening my heart. If you've got an open heart and your heart is open to life, your vibrational frequency lifts. And if everything's energy, you can change the state of your body and lift yourself from a depressed state. Speaking from experience, everyone's experience of depression is different. I just want to cover myself when I speak about this, because it's a very sensitive subject and everyone's experience is different. But I believe that through finding ways to lift yourself energetically being conscious of your thought patterns, being centered in the now, you can lift yourself out of depression. And even the even the saying from Eckhart Tolle, I think it is, says, boredom is a state of mind. Boredom is mind-made. Boredom is mind-made, right? If you're completely present in the now, you can't be bored. Boredom is mind-made. Boredom is a searching, isn't it, I guess? A searching for more, a searching for answers, a searching for something, a searching for sensory input, for being, what's the word? Stimulated, you know? Boredom is a need to be stimulated. So we can bypass that by focusing on what is around us right now. Can you allow your surroundings right now to stimulate you on a level that means that boredom does not exist? And I think, do you know, right, for somebody with ADHD, right, I'm really used to getting bored, right, and needing the stimulation. But what I'm starting to realise and starting to learn and starting to try to transition into, if you like, is it's not boredom, it's peace. Allow those times to actually be felt as peace, not boredom. Like, there's such a beauty in that, isn't there? And so I think, if the wind is a pain, sorry. So I think there's neighbouring experiences of what we might think is negative, like looking at depression as a need for deep rest. Maybe boredom could be perceived as peace, right? Anxiety, maybe we can remember that excitement and anxiety have the same physiological symptoms expressed in the body. And we can find silver linings in this way by looking at the similarities in what we're experiencing to something similar as a state that we want to experience, that is a positive version of the thing that we're not enjoying. There is a beautiful empowerment in that, in doing that. And there's a beautiful empowerment in taking the experiences that we go through in life that are uncomfortable and negative and traumatic, and turning them into something beautiful, or turning them into something healing for other people or helpful for other people, to show other people the way, to share our experiences of how we helped ourselves in order to help others. There is a way to bring beauty from something completely awful. If depression was deep rest, what would it say to you? How do you create deep rest? Is it in photography itself? Is it in art? Is it in the creative flow? Is it in watching a movie, right? Chocolate, movie day in bed. All the things you might feel guilty for. Is there something that you could do that you do enjoy, that you don't expect you're going to enjoy, but you do it because you feel like you need time out from the busyness of the world, or something that's not serving you? Is depression a lesson or a reminder that something in our lives is not right? something needs addressing, something needs changing, something needs to be released, whether it be a situation, a job, a home, a person, or a state of a programming of mental limiting beliefs, or a self-worth wound. What is it that your depression is trying to tell you? And get curious about the root cause, and getting curious about the root cause can take you on a journey which helps you to build a toolkit for potential future experiences with depression. Because you know what you're looking for. You know why it's there. It's beautiful, isn't it? Oh my life, you guys. I'm not going to force it today. I have been looking at the sardine, people eating loads of sardines and nothing else. Oh my goodness, guys, it looks really fun and interesting. I don't know if I'll do this. I might do a sardine fast one day. Not right now, maybe. But I am being so much better with my diet. You know, the mental health and gut connection as well. The connection between what you eat and how you feel in your mind is huge, massive. So I'm really being super mindful about that. And but this sardine thing is really interesting. Like the nutrients that are in sardines is absolutely amazing. Thanks for being here. You guys are awesome. I'll see you soon. Is this the first time I've smiled through this whole video? Oh no, that's not good, is it? I feel like my face is cracking. I need to smile more. Okay, I'll make up for it now. Did you know, right, that if you put a pen in your mouth like that, like imagine that's a pen, alright? Even if you don't feel like smiling, right, you just put a pen there. Your mouth being in the smile position actually makes the brain give off the happy chemicals. Your brain thinks you're smiling. And if you actually smile, even if it's fake, you do get, I don't know if it's dopamine or whatever, like whatever good chemical is. So, just because someone's asked you if you're depressed, it doesn't mean you are. Am I depressed? Sometimes the people that look the happiest and the most positive on the outside are the ones really struggling on the inside. You notice that? It's like, I don't know, you're overcompensating or something, putting on a bit of an act. I am definitely guilty of that. Yeah, man. But I think I've got a healthy dose of realness as well, don't you, in this channel? I only want to share rubbish stuff if it's going to help others. Okay, I'm going to go make some fish. Good for brain health. Bye, guys. Miss you already.